Do you like Star Wars?
I I do. I like Star Wars. I would say I'm a fan, but not a
Not
hardcore fan, but like a decent fan. I have a lot of Star Wars stuff around the house, and I've watched all the movies, obviously, and most of the shows.
most of the shows. Right on, right on. What would you say is your favorite part about Star Wars?
Um, my favorite part about Star Wars, and I think something that it's kind of lost in recent years, is just like having all these crazy alien races in all these places. Like if you see this more in the earlier films where they go to like a bar or a cantina and it's like just fucking
Just a
shit
freak
everywhere.
show. Just a freak show.
Nobody knows. There's just creatures, and you're like, "What the hell is that?"
It's
And
just
George Lucas just refuses to elaborate. He's like, "Yeah, that exists. That's the
yeah.
thing that I like, and it's
They
going here."
they just have a different artist working on a different alien, and they're not allowed to talk to each other about style or
Exactly.
anything to make
They're
it
like, "Do
match.
whatever you want." Yeah,
Yeah.
do whatever you want. It's gonna look great. They're all gonna be in the background, and then you kind of get a little bit of that is lost. I find on the newer ones where it's just like
Just
all
humans.
people, it's just only humans everywhere, and I'm
Just
like,
people in leather jackets
dude,
and
yeah, so many leather
jeans.
jackets.
Yeah.
Give me something else. Give me a guy that's in a costume that's got like just tentacles in every direction. I
A
just
guy
need
that's only
something.
tentacles, no face, no eyes, just
No
tentacles.
face, no eyes, tentacles only.
Okay, so what would you if we were to start from scratch, if we were to take all of the ingredients of Star Wars and start from scratch, make a new story, what are the things that need to be in Star Wars for people to be like, that's Star Wars and not like, oh, that's just generic sci-fi
Space
space stuff.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you need to keep? I think first of all, that for me, number one is the aliens. Like you need to
Aliens?
have these alien races, but it's the other thing is that they fleshed out a lot of the alien races so well and gave them home planets. Like you have Wookiees, right, who
Yeah, from
are
Kashyyyk.
classically from Kashyyyk, and
Yeah.
they're like a whole. They have their whole culture. They have everything, their own language. So somehow everybody speaks every language in
Yeah, everyone can
the
understand each
universe.
other. They don't explain it, which
Yeah,
I kind of like that. It's just like we're not going to bother with a universal
everybody
translator where
understands.
just everyone gets it. It doesn't matter. So
Yeah,
which I
everybody's
really
not
liked.
speaking common. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to think in my head canon, it's like everybody has like a little microchip in their brain that just translates everything
Yeah.
constantly.
I mean, you'd have to, otherwise, how would anyone understand
Maybe,
anything?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so we
But
got
I
our.
think. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so we got. Let me. I should have gotten. We got. Nah, it doesn't matter. Pen and paper, it doesn't matter. Uh, Alien races. We've got. That's gonna be the big thing. That's one of the
Hmm.
core ingredients that you need to have. Freak show aliens to
Yeah,
be
and
Star Wars.
next thing I think very important, you need to have the space wizards.
Yeah, they
Like
gotta have the
without
space wizards.
without the Force, there's just not Star Wars. Like it's such an
Hmm.
integral part of it that
Hmm.
it has to be there. Even in, but that being said, there are shows that don't lean super heavily on it. Like I was
Like,
gonna bring up the Mandalorian, but the Mandalor even in that you have Grogu who is
he's a
a Force
Jedi.
user
Yeah, little baby one.
and yeah, a little Force sensitive baby. But even that being said, like the focus of the show is not on Jedi. It's on the Mandalorian who don't
Who are not
typically
Force
do.
users. Yeah.
Yeah.
Historically, I don't think they're it. So we got our freak show aliens. We have space
Hmm.
wizards, and
Hmm.
then what else do we need? What else do we need?
You need a bad guy. There has to be somebody who's the
Every
bad guy.
story needs a bad guy, though.
Even
Well,
if you don't think that they're the baddest of bad guys, like was the Republic in the bad that much? I don't know. I don't think so.
all right.
Or no, wait, the Republic. No, I'm thinking
I was gonna say the Republic was the good
the
guys.
Republic. Republic, debatable. They're like basically terrorists, are they
I
not?
guess so. And
These dudes just
in the context of the
go.
first movie, it was essentially just like this group of rebels, literally just rebel. I mean, a rebel is just a title. They
Yeah,
essentially blew up a massive space station that feasibly was a home and housing just thousands of people that were,
more. I'm sure the Death Star was the size of a moon, was it not?
I guess,
They mistaked it for. They're like, "Oh, look at that moon! It's so weird." Oh, just kidding. That's a space station.
yeah, but
Let's kill millions of people.
it wasn't like a colony. It was meant to be like a battleship, I guess. It was meant to blow up planet. So I'm sure it wasn't
Yeah,
just like filled with people. It's a lot of mechanical parts, I'm sure, but still, it was a large
I feel like
space
though, if you have
station.
something that large, like surely food production and
I guess yeah.
So
You
many of those things have to be
like
on board. Like
logistical things. Yeah.
you can't just ship in food for millions of people
Oh
every
my god,
day.
dude! Have you imagine if they had families on there, like the
Yeah,
stormtroopers? Just
their
like
families.
it was like a
Are
military
stormtroopers
base.
not clones? They're clones, aren't they?
They were, but I don't think anymore because that's how like Finn
Oh, you're
was
right.
the
Yeah,
thing.
like later they're not
They
clones.
just conscripts, or
I guess it depends on the era.
I guess so. So we have our freak show aliens. We have our
Yeah,
space wizards, and the bad guy. I feel like every story, no matter
everybody's a
whether
bad
it's
guy.
yeah, no whether if it's Star Wars or not, it's gonna have a bad guy. It's gonna have the antagonist.
Yeah.
So I
I
think
mean, they did blow up an entire planet full of people, so
yes,
you
I
know,
think yeah, and obviously like being able to travel in space, like visiting other planets, not just having the freak show
yes,
aliens, but having like freak show planets as well, like your
yeah,
Hoth, your Tatooine, stuff like that. Um,
and
is that
also
it?
having that technology to do so, right? Like being able to
The
travel, like
robots, gotta have some
having that
robots.
hyperdrive that can be like, phew, and they're just between two planets instantly, rather than, hey, for the next 3 years we're traveling between these two stars. It's gonna
Okay,
take
it's
us
very
so long.
instant. Time isn't relative in the
Yeah,
Star Wars universe.
time isn't relative. You
It's more
just it
space
just
magic.
happens.
It's more space
More
magic.
space magic.
Okay, what was I gonna say? So freak show aliens, freak show homeworlds, the space wizards, and robots. The other thing, because there's always like an R2D2 or a
Yeah,
C3PO or a
yeah.
what's the little round guy in the new one?
And they're icon. Yeah, BB-8, I
BB-8.
think.
Yeah, they always have a little robot sidekick. Robot sidekick you need to have. So
Hmm.
I think
And they're iconic characters too, right? Like they don't even like R2D2 and BB-8 don't talk, but like you'll see little kids running around on the street, like just making beeping noises, and they
yeah.
love it.
Well, I mean that might be something else. They might not be Star Wars fans.
Yeah,
You don't know. But yeah, okay. I think those are the core four pillars or ingredients, we'll call them, for Star Wars. If you mix in some freak show aliens, you mix in some space wizardry, even if like it was like someone else just wanted to do their own story, and there was just like, oh, there's this like order of space wizards that have these laser swords. People are like, oh, that's just Star Wars. Laser swords is the other thing too. It's very
yeah,
iconic to Star Wars. You gotta have a laser sword. So we're freak show aliens, freak show homeworlds for the freak show aliens, your space wizards,
yeah,
your laser sword,
yeah.
and
Your good guys,
robots.
your bad guys,
Your good
your
guys, bad
robots.
guys, robots. Those are, I would say, like the good guys, bad guys are all like story elements. Like you're gonna have characters,
Yeah, that's true.
settings, your plot, and stuff like that. So if we were to start from scratch here, and we were to just take the first Star Wars, because obviously George Lucas didn't expect this whole thing to be a 12 movie series with 40 spin-offs
Yeah,
and like kids cartoons and whatever for it. It was originally
I
it was just Star Wars.
couldn't believe it.
No, yeah, and it was because it wasn't even like Star Wars: A New Hope. He only added the title when he was like, "Oh, we're gonna do a second
He
one. We're
added
gonna do Empire
after,
Strikes." Yeah, because originally
but he started as the fourth episode,
no,
correct?
no, 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 no. So when he first made the first Star Wars was just gonna be a Star Wars movie. That's why it was just called Star Wars. And then when they
Yeah,
decided they were gonna do Empire Strikes Back, then they changed the title to A New Hope so that they could like differentiate between the next one and then the third one as well. So eventually it was just like at the end of A New Hope, like that was just the it. That was the end.
that's it.
And then they made Empire Strikes Back to continue on from that. And then it was like, okay, so it's getting bigger and bigger. And then they made the prequel trilogy and then the sequel trilogy, and then it's been going on ever since. It's now just a part of Western culture, Star Wars.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to think that there's probably not many people like you could talk to almost anybody and they've either seen or heard of or know something about Star Wars. Like
Everyone recognizes Star Wars. Even if they haven't seen it, they're like, oh yeah, it's a movie in space with Yoda and space wizards and stuff like that. They
yeah,
have just because it's everywhere, like they know roughly what it is.
absolutely. So yeah, if you were to start, what is something that you think you should omit? What is something that can be taken out of this story or something that you don't feel entirely necessary?
I was actually thinking about this because like the whole everyone rags on the whole like political angle that gets like is kind of like not a centerpiece but like a big part of the prequels where it's like oh these like the Trade Federation is putting an embargo on this planet and now they have to like pass legislation in this big Senate. I was like I can understand why it's kind of but at the same time if it's Star Wars not Star Battle like wars are like these big
Yeah.
political things that involve like all these different like nations and parties and whatnot and it's usually about like like the economy and land and stuff like that. So I was like, I get why it's in there to kind of give scale to what's happening, and so that people understand. Oh, it's like this
Yeah.
massive thing, which really
I
wasn't.
think it is very necessary. I really like that part of Star Wars, and I think that that sets up Palpatine to be shown as like this villain who was playing both sides the entire time.
Yeah, gotta
And
gotta have
like
Palpatine.
without that, I think it doesn't like it. The prequels are such a good lead up. I hate when people dunk on the prequels because I actually think that they're
You know what is the one thing that should be
such
omitted
good.
is Darth Maul's death. That guy was so cool, and they just
True,
ice him in the
true,
first movie. What a
yeah.
waste!
All right, yeah, my man.
One of the sickest character designs
The
ever
sickest
done up,
characters
and they're just like,
ever.
nah, we don't need him anymore. What a
Get him out
waste!
of here.
They could use
Duel
him
of
as a
Fates,
uh,
the best song in
John
Star Wars,
Williams at his
hands down,
finest. It's and they're just
hands
like
down.
just once is fine.
I think
What a
that there's like a cartoon or a comic book or something where Darth Maul survives the fall,
oh well, there's
and
like
he
the
has like little robot legs
yeah,
grabbing
that's in
onto him.
it's a TV series, the Clone Wars. It was
Is that the Clone Wars?
it was an
Yeah.
animated series they did, which takes place between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, and it's just like
Okay.
Obi-Wan, Anakin going like battling the Clone Wars and how they get to
Yeah.
like from the second to the third movie, and in between like they bring back Darth Maul and he's like chopped in half and he's got robot legs, which was cool and
Hell
like,
yeah.
but I was like, man, what a
They should have kept that character around.
they should have,
They should.
yeah, he was so
And they've
sick.
tried to replicate it. They've tried to replicate him in like recent films and
Nah,
recent shows, like
nah.
in the Obi-Wan series with the I can't remember the name of the guy, but he also has a two-handed lightsaber,
And
and
how sick was that?
I'm just like, you're not Darth Maul. You're just
Everyone
not him.
was filling their diapers as soon as they saw that second lightsaber go off
Oh,
on its handle, and like right with dual, yeah, so sick.
but just like, oh god, he's so cool. And the other thing is like, I don't even know. Does he even have any dialogue?
He has
Does Darth Maul
one line.
say a
He has
word?
one line, and it's when he just talks to the Emperor. Like, there's a little cutaway where it's like the Emperor and Darth Maul in Coruscant, and he's like, "Soon we shall reveal ourselves to the Jedi." And then he's all like, "The time has come, my master," or something like that. That's all he says. I think all he says is, "Our time has come," and that's it. And that's all he
I'm
gets.
looking at it right now in the Phantom Menace. He has a total of one, two, three, four, five sentences,
Oh, I was gonna say
and five
words.
different times he speaks.
Okay,
Five
that's
sentences. He talks in the Clone Wars a little bit, but in Phantom Menace he speaks literally five times,
that's crazy.
which is for him to be again 5 lines. This guy's an icon
He is, yeah.
just because of his character design. Everybody's like that guy. I
And
want to be him.
the other thing as well, like he wasn't even an actor; he was a stunt guy. Like he wasn't like a trainer. He was just like he's good
Yeah,
because I guess he was gonna have so few lines that it doesn't matter. Like just we need you for the stunts,
yeah.
and he,
This
I
dude's
mean,
hella
just
good at a
killed it.
lightsaber. Get him into makeup and put some horns on this guy.
Yeah, there was a couple criticisms or critiques I've seen of like the lightsaber fight at the end with him and Obi-Wan, where it's like, oh, it's too choreographed. It's like I don't care, it looks sick.
I mean,
Doesn't
too
matter.
choreographed.
Like
Yeah.
it
Hello.
like it was like too neat for like an emotional battle. I was like, who cares? It looks sick. You're here for the spectacle. Says I don't know.
Yeah.
For me, like my favorite kind of movies are things like Pacific Rim and Transformers and King Kong.
Hell yeah.
I like a spectacle. I like a big monster mash. I like big robots. I like cool things. And so
Yeah.
when it's a cool fight, or like even if it's like as long as it's not like I don't know what's the right word. Like as long as it's not breaking my immersion. Like if they started like floating in the air fighting, I was like, okay, that's a little ridiculous. But like,
Mhm.
it's just sick choreography. So I really
They just
liked it.
did it. They did it perfect. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I think
Actually,
that's a good way.
on that note, the one fight that does bug me is when Yoda fights Count Dooku in the Clone Wars.
Really?
Nobody's like flipping around. I was like, for me,
That's
like
because he's Yoda.
I know, but like for me,
It's just
like
what he does.
the cool thing about him wasn't that he was like I mean, he's obviously meant to be like in universe like a very powerful Jedi. But for me, that power came from his ability of the Fourth. He could just like smoosh you with his brain if he really wanted to,
Yeah.
and then not have to like resort to just like flipping around. Like it's still cool, but for me, like that is what breaks the immersion. He's not like a young
Interesting.
warrior that's like training every day to be a great fighter. He's this old mentor whose whole job is to like just like be wise and give advice. So he shouldn't like once upon a time if he was like a great warrior and he was flipping around, fine. But now if he was just like all force all the time, just smooshing people, I think that would be I would have preferred that If I had to
See,
start
in
from
my
scratch.
head, I think that that is what he is doing. I think that he was like one of those great young warriors who was flipping around and doing all this crazy stuff, right?
Hmm.
But then I think later on, as he gets older and he can't do it, I think he's just using the force to move his body. Because like
Yeah,
when you watch
he's
him
just
flip,
ragdolling himself.
like he's just, I legitimately think he's throwing himself around to like get an advantage. I
Can you
think he's doing
imagine
it
if he just had like a
because
little
like,
a little Yoda puppet? He's just got like a meta head quest on, and he's just like at home, just like flailing the arms around with the force.
dude, I think the guy's throwing himself around with the force. I think that that's legit what he's doing.
I mean, it's gotta be right, unless it's
There's no
the
way like his body can't move
yeah, I
like
was
that.
gonna
It's not
say
possible.
he's got
And he just
900
and
year old
like
arthritis.
when you watch him like fly around too, like his knees are not bent, like he's like really rigid, and he's just getting like a couple flips.
He's just
Dude's
doing
throwing
Mortal
himself around.
Kombat moves. Yeah.
100%.
Oh my god.
Finish him!
Double kill.
Fatality!